So I'm going to show you on this side of the fish how to remove two fillets, and you'd be needing to do it this way when the fish is wider, when you have a flat fish the size of a turbot or a dab. So we're going to cut along the pin bone line, which is close to the center of the fish, avoiding the bony collar. I'm going to start there, and I'm going to cut where I think the pin bones will be, along that line there. Now we're going to mark out the rest of this fillet underneath the head, angling the knife so you collect the meat from around there, right up to the dorsal line. I'm no longer using it in and out, so I can just put the tip of my finger under the fillet just to very gently lever it up a little bit so you can see what's going on. You might even hear the tick, tick, tick of the tip of my knife on those bones as I go along. It's very important that you use the tip to be doing this. And I'm going to meet the center cut. So that's now joined, that's now joined. Probably the only thing holding this fillet on now is a couple of the pin bones. Gentle wobble and pull it out like that. So we've got a nice clean fillet with no waste left on the bones. Now I'm going to remove the lower fillet. This is pretty straightforward. First of all, I'm going to make a cut through the gut area, making sure I leave both of the fins on the head side. Okay, like that. Now, I've got to be careful I don't cut through the ribs. I'm going over the ribs. There isn't a great deal of meat on top of the ribs, as you can see there. I can just take my knife and I can cut it like that. Okay, there's the lower fillet. Now I'm going to remove the entire fillet from this side of the bream. So I'm not going to be cutting down the center, I'm going to be keeping it whole. I'm going to make a start and a finish point at the tail just by threading my knife through on top of the vertebrae like that. And now I'm going to mark out all the way around the fish, just using the tip of the knife. And I'm going to cut a little line, leaving both fins on the head. Now I'm going to mark up the belly. Tiny, you don't really notice them. Down to the bottom, the lower half, up towards the back of the head. Now the only thing that's stopping this fillet coming off now really is around the rib area. So what I do is I hold the fillet like that, and then I can cut from above. And I'm going to go through the pin bones, which you can barely notice. You have to really pay attention to even notice those. And then over the ribs, being careful not to cut through them. Each time I do a cut, the weight of the carcass is just going to pull itself away and reveal the area which I'm trying to fillet. There we go. That's our fillet. That's our carcass. I'm just going to remove any remnants of the stomach area there. And that is the whole one side fillet. Right on the edge. Let's deal with the whole fillet first. So you can see them, they're the little white dots, and what happens is as they go along the fish, they start to lean over. From the midpoint to the tail, they're not really worth worrying about, but from the midpoint to the head, they are. So I'm going to take my knife nice and close to the pin bones, and I'm just going to cut really close down to the skin. So if we lift the fillet up like that, we should be able to see almost the glint of the skin. So that's there on that side. Same depth on this side. So if we have a look at that, there we go, we can see the pin bones in the center there. To get them out, we just flick our knife underneath them like that, and then use the tip of the knife just to run them along as you go. And that's all the pin bones there. On our two separated fillets, we still have the pin bones. Generally speaking, they're going to start off on the head end, leaning over like that. They'll run along to about halfway down, and then they'll either swap over to the other fillet or they're small enough not to worry about. So I lay the fillet down, get my knife, sympathetic angle to the pin bones, run my knife along like that, and then take them off the edge. There's the pin bones there. And when you skin the fillet, make sure you have the knife nice and flat on the board. You need a little starting point, which is sometimes a bit tricky to get hold of. So I'm just going to put the tip of my knife in like that. As soon as I can, I get the knife flat on the board. And as long as I keep my knife flat, with no space between the back of the knife and the board, I can run my knife along and remove the skin like that. I'll just repeat that on the other one. So, and then I can hold on to that skin, and then I just work the knife forward, totally flat against the board, and then the skin comes off. 2 boneless, skinless fillets. That's it. Thank you for watching, and come back and see us again soon.